We all have a creative side. Maybe you create art, or maybe you create spreadsheets. Either way, creative solutions come from creative thinking. Judson ISD Superintendent Jeanette Ball wants to put her students in a position to practice those creative thinking skills and make them one of the tools they take into the workplace. She joins me to explore the connections between creativity and productivity. Welcome to BexarCast. I'm Randy Langford, and this is BexarCast, a weekly interview with business, political, educational, and nonprofit leaders. We're examining the relationships between all four and how each one benefits from the success of the other three. Dr. Jeanette Ball has been the superintendent at Judson ISD since July 2018. She's a believer in fine arts and the impact it has in student academic performance and achievement. At the same time, dual language is a passion of hers too. She sees the doors that can be opened to students who learn to speak more than one language and the opportunities it affords in school, in life, and as they prepare for their careers. Dr. Ball, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you giving me some time.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here. Happy to help.
I want to dive straight into your connection between the arts and academics performance. I absolutely agree with your position on that, but you tell me what you base that belief on.
As a young child, I didn't have those opportunities for several reasons. My parents financially couldn't. I lived in a small community, so I didn't have that exposure. So for me, it's about providing all those things to our students that maybe their families can't. Maybe they're similar to my family. Many times I've talked to kids, young students, and I've asked them, oh, do you like to play the drums or play the guitar? And they look at me and say, well, I've never tried it. I don't know if I would like it. So it's hard to know if you'll like something if you've never given it the opportunity.
I'm a big believer in that, in try everything, and that's part of the thinking behind BexarFest, is to give kids a chance to try media production. Maybe it's something that you will gravitate toward, and at the same time, get a deep look inside a nonprofit organization, because again, that may be something that really resonates with you. And if you haven't ever experienced it, exactly what you said, how would you ever know?
Right. I've always felt that my responsibility is to provide a buffet of different things for our students and parents to choose from and select. So I want to continue to add to our buffet of opportunities that we offer to our students so they can pick and choose from something. I was so proud of our community. This summer, we had our first ever Fine Arts Academy.
Oh.
People could not believe that we offered it for free. Right. We had standing room only for all the people that came to see it, and the students loved participating. We did Peter Pan, and we had over 100 students that participated, and it was just amazing. It really was.
And the parents get a real eye opener as well, that look what our kids are capable of if we give them the opportunity.
Somebody, I kid you not, asked me if I had hired actors, and I said, no, those are our kids. That's how talented our kids are.
Right. In your position, that's interesting. In your position as superintendent, you get to see that connection between arts and education and what kids are able to achieve all the way from preschool all the way through high school. From that perspective, how do you see the arts directly benefiting academic performance?
Well, I'll give you some examples. A lot of times students don't come to school for math and science, but they'll come because of their favorite art class that they have. So in turn, we get the students to have good attendance. So that benefits all the core areas. And then of course, in order to participate, you have to be passing all your core areas to be able to be in the band, in the choir, in orchestra. We just had some students that had a competition this week and they won state. So very proud of our orchestra students. So it really all goes hand in hand. If we want to get our students to school on a regular basis, we got to offer something that they want to come for, something that they love. I see my niece and my nephew, both of them love drawing. They would be deeply disappointed if they found out their school ever did away with drawing. Sure. So the things that I offer for our students, I take my niece and nephew into account and say, would they like that opportunity?
Yeah, that real world litmus test that you have available to you. Personally, I believe everybody has an artistic side. You mentioned your niece and nephew specifically, but I think attorneys have an artistic side, chefs, attorneys, certainly educators have a creative side, and we all express ourselves in some way. Some do it with paint, some do it with lesson plans. How do you express your artistry?
Oh gosh, I hope that it would be through communication. I can barely draw a stick figure.
I'm with you.
I cannot sing. You would not want to hear me sing. So I guess maybe it would be through talking, communicating with individuals.
Right, right. And that's, I was a writer in my previous life, so I'm much better on paper than I am live. So you're getting the worst of me right here.
No, I do a Monday message every Monday that I send out to all our staff and our community. It's posted on our website and on our Facebook. So my communication is through my writing that I do every Monday.
Right. One of the fundamental objectives of BexarFest is to give students an opportunity to explore various art forms. Like you say, try the buffet. We designed the festival to do that while serving their community. And we could have just as easily designed BexarFest that you make a video or you create media around your school or around your band or your cheerleaders. We could have focused it internally, but we very deliberately focused it externally. And we wanted to engage kids with nonprofit organizations and give them that opportunity to explore two things at once. I'm interested in your thoughts on how students take their interest in arts from the classroom into the real world. The link between learning art and practicing it. How does that gel? How do those two things come together?
I think that's actually a struggle. So that's why I think it's just phenomenal that you have that component to it. Because a lot of times I don't think students realize what else is out in their community. So I think you're actually helping us to bridge that gap that a lot of students don't know. How does this, I like to draw or I like to do this, but how am I going to pursue this for the long term?
Where does that get practical? Right?
Yes.
Right.
So you're definitely being instrumental in helping us with that.
I hope so. I hope we're giving them a real, a valuable experience. Our goal, one of our goals, we have a lot of goals, but one of them is to give students genuine work experience. When their production team partners with a nonprofit organization, that nonprofit, in a sense, becomes their client. And I've had career technology educators tell me that real world experience is vital. It takes it from the classroom to, like you say, this is practical, this is accomplishable. Can we expand that bubble of arts impacting academics to include career training? Is there a link between arts and real world on the job performance?
You know, I would say that that's something that we certainly have to work on and get better. You know, we have different programs that we have for other areas, but we have not expanded into the arts as much as we should and as much as we can do. So I think it's finding those right individuals or organizations or systems that want to partner with us and starting to branch out in that. But that is something that, you know, we haven't done as much as we should.
And it's a lot easier to come up with a bookkeeping internship or an accounting internship than an artistic internship. That gets, well, what does that look like? How do you do that? So we're putting the students in a position where they're creating a product for their client. They're the vendor, the nonprofit is the client. And this is the first time a lot of those kids have been in that kind of a relationship. It's always been parent, child, teacher, student. Now it's peer-to-peer. And in that position, they can't help but learn supply chain management, conflict resolution, resource allocation, scheduling, all those tools and skills that anybody in any field is going to need. In studying or practicing artwork prepare students for that? Is there a connection between arts, developing artistic skills, and developing those real world work skills?
Absolutely, because there's through art, whatever form of art it is, you're expressing yourself. And I think that that's one of the things that we're constantly teaching our students is the correct way to express ourselves. Sometimes there's a time and a place for everything. So I definitely see the correlation to that.
It seems to me, and again, this is a layman speaking, but it seems to me that creative thinking in creating art and the process of creating art, the creative thinking that goes into that would lead to creative problem solving. Mm-hmm. Is that true? Is that of value?
Absolutely. A lot of times people just want to follow a rubric, but sometimes you need to be able to come up with your own rubric, be able to think outside the box, all the benefits that has to it. And I think through art, you have that ability to come up with something that no one else has ever created, no one else has ever dreamed of. And it's just so unique. And I think that that's what we want to instill within our students is that ability to not be a follower, but to be a leader. And through art, there's no better way to do that than through art.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree 100%. And one of the things that again, a layman, one of the things that I think the festival does for kids is give them the chance to do that experimenting. That here, I made this. I created this out of nothing. This came out of my head into the real world. What do you think? And to give them that kind of an opportunity in a relatively safe space, it's pretty low risk that nobody's going to die if it doesn't succeed. But it seems to me there is value in giving those kids, those students, that opportunity to take even that minimal risk, to make something, see what people think, give yourself a chance to explore that.
Yes, because I'll say one of the other things that we are constantly working on is for the students to have a sense of pride, ownership, and accomplishment.
Right.
And since we are also very unique, the fine arts, it gives you that ability, whether you wrote your own song, your own poem, you composed something, you developed something, it gives you that ability to have a sense of pride and accomplishment that I think is such a necessary thing for our young people today.
Right. In engaging students with nonprofit organizations in the way we do, it goes far beyond just taking the tour. Or you spend a couple of hours at the nonprofit, or you even spend a day at the nonprofit volunteering. We essentially embed these students in a nonprofit organization for weeks. They work on their productions for a good long time, a couple of months. And the idea there, the goal there is to take them beyond the what of this organization. Yeah, this is what they rescue puppies or they do, they supply food. We go beyond what they do and get more into why they do it. We embed these kids in a culture of caring, that they get to see adults who more or less wear their heart on their sleeve. This is, I'm here because I'm passionate about this. I'm here because I care about this mission and these people and these animals and what we're doing here. From an educator's perspective, what's the value of exposing students to that?
Oh, that's key. One of the things that we're always looking at is building character, and that's what that does. Building character, of kindness, of doing the right thing when nobody's looking, of doing the right thing because that's the moral and ethical thing, to do. So I think through working with these nonprofits, it instills that in our students, that there's a lot bigger world out there than just about being self-centered and just about you. That there's, you have to have passion in something.
Kids get a somewhat undeserved reputation about being self-involved, that the only thing they use their cameras for is to take selfies and aggrandize themselves. But we're giving them a chance to turn the camera around, point the camera at somebody else, and tell us a story about what they're doing. And I am a firm believer that everybody is a role model, yes. Whether you want to be or not. Kids are watching, they're going to pick up on what you do. So by putting them in that position with what I consider to be positive role models, these volunteers, these nonprofit leaders, I think we're giving them an opportunity to see exactly what you're saying, that there is a culture out there, there is a community out there to where working on behalf of other people and sacrificing not necessarily a lot, but some time, some effort, donating just even that to a greater cause is of value. And we want you to understand that. We want you to do that. We want to encourage you to do that. And so, yeah, I certainly agree. You and I are very much on the same page.
Sounds like it, yes.
Kids to do. Dr. Ball, thank you so much. I want to thank you for your time and your insight and your expertise. And I'm so grateful to have Judson involved in BexarCast. Judson Early College Academy has been an award-winning team for every year that the festival has gone on, and I'm looking forward to having them back.
Well, likewise, I thank you for your time, and thank you so much for supporting our students.
That's what we're here for.
That's what means a lot, and that and at times when we need to focus on the fine arts because it gives students another wonderful opportunity to express themselves.
Well, I appreciate you bringing your team to BexarCast, and we're looking forward to having you